I normally chit chat with you guys, but I was at the doctor's office till almost closing. So by the time I was done, the library was closed, and I still want to get through this lovely chapter, a book rather. So um, I'll touch back on the adult entertainment tomorrow after I run some errands in the morning. But you make time for money, so I'm making time for the science of money. It's a little darker than I actually like it. The library has really bright lights, but this is as high as it goes on the phone. I'm going to work with the wonderful temperaments and elements that I've been given. Let's get into it, shall we? So we've already covered, just as a recap, what is money, the myths about money, the science of spending, the science of debt, the science of generating income, the science of creating wealth, the science of multiplying wealth, the science, oh, is what we're doing next in chapter 7. We learned a lot last chapter, especially that it's not 99 and 1%. It's actually 97 and 3%, plus a lot of stuff, other stuff we learned in between. All right. Hope you're having a lovely hump day thus far. Welcome, darling. Appreciate you coming to the platform and joining in on the channel, sweetheart. Hi, sweetie. How are you doing, Tavi? I'm going to get started on chapter 7, babe, okay? So make sure you got your notebook out so you can take notes, darling. Okay. The science of multiplying wealth. I'm okay, sweetie. How are you doing? Did you have a good day today? What are you doing? I'm reading. We need the knowledge. We need all these gems, baby. Whatever state we in, we need to come up out of it so we can climb. So I am reading. And we are on chapter 7. And there are 10 chapters total, boo. Do you have your notebook ready for these gems I'm about to drop? Awesome. Good. Thank you. I appreciate that, sweetheart. Okay. All right. Once you have achieved a certain level of financial success, you will want to find a way to invest your money so you can multiply it many times over while you are busy working on becoming even more successful in your chosen profession. Thank you, darling. We're talking about money right now. Okay. But thank you, honey. But as we will see, some people make the mistake of risking too much when investing, either because they are ill informed, too greedy, or too busy to pay sufficient attention to where and how they are investing. In this chapter, Brian will teach you the science of multiplying wealth, which has been proven to work with the greatest number of people over the greatest period of time. Some people resist the idea that there could be a science of multiplying wealth, especially when there is no guaranteed rate of return for any investment. That's that part right there. Especially yet, as Brian will show you, this view that investing doesn't have principles that have proven to work is just wrong. Not knowing these ideas can cost you a fortune. Brian, one of your major goals in life should be financial independence. You must aim to reach the point where you have enough money so that you never have to worry about money again. The good news is that the financial independence is easier to achieve today than it has ever been before. We live in the richest country at the richest time in all of human history, irrespective of short term economic ups and downs. We are surrounded by more wealth and affluence than ever before. As I told you, when I started off, there were a million millionaires and a few billionaires. Now there are 10 million millionaires and 2,000 billionaires. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? The billionaires are increasing at the rate of 40 or 50 a year, which is an incredible amount of money. $1,000 million starting from nothing. There is hope. Your goal should be to participate fully in what many people are starting to refer to as the golden age of mankind. Money has an energy of its own, and it's largely attracted to people who treat it well. Respect the money. Money tends to flow toward those who can use it in the most productive ways to produce valuable goods and services, and to those who can invest it to create employment and opportunities that benefit others, staff. At the same time, money flows away from those who use it poorly or who spend it in non productive ways. Your job is to acquire as much as you honestly can and then use it to enhance the quality of your life and the lives of those you care about. Let's talk about some of the laws of money. The first is the law of cause and effect. He actually touches on this in chapter one. I do have a playlist called The Science of Money if you want to go back to chapter one and refresh, which says that everything happens for a reason. There is a cause for every effect. This is the iron law of human destiny. This law says that we live in a world governed by law, not by chance. Everything happens for a reason, whether we know what it is or not. Every effect, success or failure, wealth or poverty has a specific cause or causes. Every cause or action has an effect or consequence of some kind or another, whether we can see it or not, or whether we like it or not. This law says that all achievement, all wealth, all happiness, all prosperity, all success are the direct and indirect effects or results of specific causes or actions. This means that if you can be clear about the effect or result you want, you can probably achieve it. You can study what others who have accomplished the same goal, and by doing what they did, you could get the same results. The law of cause and effect applies to money as much as to any other subject. This law says that financial success is an effect. As such, it proceeds from certain specific causes. When you identify these causes and implement them in your life and activities, you will get the same effects that hundreds of thousands and even millions of others have gotten. Plan. You can acquire whatever amount of money you really want if you will just do what others have done before you to achieve the same results. And if you don't, you won't. It's as simple as that. Your ultimate financial goal should be to accumulate capital until your investments are paying you more than you earn on your job. Goals. This is your basic goal in life. The sooner you set it as a goal and the sooner you work on it, the sooner you're going to achieve it. Let's talk about the next law, which is the law of investment. The law of investing says investigate before you invest. This is one of the most important of all the laws of money. You should spend at least as much time studying a particular investment as you do earning the money to put into that investment. Never let yourself be rushed into parting with money. You have worked too hard to earn it, and have taken too long to accumulate it. Whew, he's preaching right there. Investigate every aspect of the investment well before you make any commitment. Ask for full and complete disclosure of every detail. Demand honest, accurate, and adequate information on any investment of any kind. If you have any doubt or misgivings at all, you will probably be better off keeping your money in the bank or in a money market account than you would taking the risk of losing it. Okay. The first corollary of the law of investing is that the only thing easy about money is losing it. It's hard to make money in a competitive market, but losing it is one of the easiest you can ever do. A Japanese proverb says making money is like digging with a nail, while losing money is like pouring water on the sand. My gosh. Ooh. The second corollary of this law comes from the self made multi billionaire Marvin Davis, who was asked about his rules for making money in an interview in Forbes magazine. He said he has one simple principle, and it is don't lose money. He calls this rule number one. He said that if there's a possibility that you will lose your money, don't part with it in the first place. This principle is so important that you should write it down and put it where you can see it, read it, and reread it over and over. Think of your money as if it were a piece of your life. You have to exchange a certain number of hours and weeks and even years of your time in order to generate a certain amount of money for savings or investment. That time is irreplaceable. It's a part of your precious life that is gone forever. If all you do is to hold on to the money rather than losing it, that alone can assure that you achieve financial security. Don't lose money. Time is irreplaceable, so time and money are simultaneous. Okay, they equate each other. The third corollary of the law of investment says that if you think you can afford to lose a little, ooh, you are going to end up losing a lot. There's something about the attitude of a person who feels that he has enough money that he can afford to risk losing a little. You remember that old saying, a fool and his money are soon parted. Excuse me, y'all. There's another saying that says, when a man with experience meets a man with money, the man with the money is going to end up with the experience, and the man with the experience is going to end up with the money. Okay. So always ask yourself, what would happen if you lost 100% of a prospective investment? Could you handle that? If you couldn't, don't make the investment in the first place. The fourth corollary of the law of investing says only invest with experts who have a proven track record of success with their own money. Your aim is to invest only with people who have such a successful track record with money that your risk is dramatically diminished. Again, don't lose money. If you ever feel tempted, I'm sure a lot of us feel tempted, refer back to this rule and resolve to hold on to what you have. Invest only in things you fully understand and believe in. Take investment advice only from people who are financially successful from taking their own advice. By the way, when the market turns down, Many people who offer financial advice are broke and homeless and unemployed and working at McDonald's. Woo, child. Broke, unemployed. Four things right there. Many people who sell financial success products or get rich quick products have no other money than the money they get from selling these products to unsuspecting people who think it's possible to make easy money. The next law is the law of compound interest. This says that investing your money carefully and allowing it to grow at compound interest will eventually make you rich. Compound interest is considered to be one of the great miracles of all of human history and economics. Albert Einstein described it as the most powerful force in our society, if not in the universe. When you let money accumulate at compound interest over a long enough period of time, it increases more than you could imagine. You can use the rule of 72 to determine how long it would take for the money to double at any rate of interest. You simply divide the interest rate. Oh, let me put math here. Divide the interest rate into the number 72. For example, if you are receiving 8% interest on your investment and you divide the number 72 by 8, you would get the number 9. Okay, division. This means that it would take you 9 years to double your money at 8%. It's been estimated that $1 invested at 3% interest at the time of Christ would be worth half the money in the world today. If that money had been allowed to grow and double again and then again and again and again and again, it would be worth many billions or trillions of dollars today. So the first corollary of this law says the key to compound interest is to put the money away and never touch it. Forget it's there. Once you begin accumulating money and it begins to grow, you must never touch it or spend it for any reason. If you do, you lose the power of compound interest. Even though you spend only a small amount today, you'll be giving up what could be an enormous amount later on. If you start early enough, invest consistently enough, never draw on your funds, and rely on the miracle of compound interest, it will make you rich. An average person earning an average income who invested $100 per month from age 21 to age 65 and who earned a compounded rate of interest of 10% over that time would retire with a net worth of $1,118,000. Begin a regularly monthly investment account and commit yourself to investing a fixed amount for the next 5, 10, or even 20 years. Select a company with a family of mutual funds and investment instruments. Keep your money working month after month and year after year. The next law of money is the law of accumulation. Law 6. This says that every great financial achievement is an accumulation of hundreds of small efforts and sacrifices that no one ever sees or appreciates. The achievement of financial independence will require a tremendous number of small efforts on your part. To begin the process of accumulation, you must be disciplined and persistent. You must keep at it for a long time, long time. Initially, you will see very little change or difference, but gradually your efforts will begin to bear fruit. You will begin to pull ahead of your peers, your finances will improve, and your debts will disappear. Your bank account will grow, and your whole life will improve. The first corollary of the law of accumulation says that as your savings accumulate, you develop a momentum that moves you more rapidly towards your financial goals. It's hard to get started on a program of financial accumulation, but once you do, you find it easier and easier to keep at it. The momentum principle is one of the great success secrets. This principle says that it takes tremendous energy to get started and to overcome the initial inertia and resistance to financial accumulation. But once started, it takes much less energy to keep moving. Thank you for tuning in, darling. The second corollary of the law of accumulation says by the yard it's hard, by but by inch anything's a cinch. When you first begin thinking about saving 10% or 20% of your income, you'll immediately think of all kinds of reasons why it's not possible. You may be up to your neck in debt. You may be spending every little single penny you can earn just to keep afloat. However, if you find yourself in this situation, there's a solution. Begin saving just 1% of your income in a special account, which you refuse to touch. Begin putting your change into a large jar every evening when you come home, or your cauldron. When the jar is full, take it to the bank and add it to your savings account. Whenever you get an extra sum of money from selling something, an old debt is repaid, or a bonus comes unexpectedly, instead of spending it, put it into your special account. These small amounts will begin to add up at a rate that will surprise you. As you become comfortable with saving 1%, increase it to 2%, then 3%, then 4%, then 5%, and so on. Within a year, you'll find yourself getting out of debt and saving 10% to 15%, even 20% of your income without it really affecting your lifestyle. The next law of money is called the law of magnetism. This is seven. This says that the more money you save and accumulate, the more money you attract in your life. The law of magnetism, often called the law of attraction, has been a primary reason for wealth building throughout centuries. This law explains much of the success and failure in every area of life, especially in the financial arena. Money goes where it is loved and respected. Money says you're going to put some respect on my name, honey. The more positive emotions you associate with your money, the more opportunities you will attract to acquire even more. The first corollary of the law of magnetism as it applies to money is that a prosperity consciousness attracts money like iron filings to a magnet. This is why it's important for you to start accumulating money, no matter what your situation. Put just a few coins into a piggy bank. Begin saving even a small amount of money. That money, magnetized by your emotions of desire and hope, will begin to attract more to you faster than you can imagine. Magnetism. The second corollary of this law says it takes money to make money. As you begin accumulating money, you begin to attract more money and more opportunities to earn money into your life. This is why it's so important to start even with a small amount. You'll be amazed at what starts to happen. Take time every day, every week, and every month to reflect on your financial situation and look for ways to deploy your finances more intelligently. As we said before, self-made millionaires think more about financial accumulation in a ratio of 10:11 to poor people. Every week they take time to think about how much they have, how it's deployed, and how they can earn more and how they can invest it better. The more time you take to think intelligently about your finances, the better decisions you will make and the more money you will have to think about it. And the more you think about your savings and investments, the more of them you will attract into your life. Another law is called law of accelerating acceleration. This is eight. This says that the faster you move towards financial freedom, the faster it moves towards you. The more money you accumulate and the more success you achieve, the fastest money and success seem to move towards you from a variety of different directions. Throw my money faster, faster, fast like a Lambo. Skeet, skeet, skeet. All right. Everyone who is financially successful today has had the experience of working extremely hard, sometimes for years before they got their first real opportunity. But after that, more and more opportunities flow to them from all directions. The major problem most successful people have is sorting out the opportunities that seem to come at them from everywhere. It will be the same for you. Look at the companies in Silicon Valley who invested millions and then tens of millions and then hundreds of millions. They invested in companies like Facebook and Google and Apple, and they made hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. Now, opportunities come to them like rivers from all directions to invest in places where they'll make hundreds of millions of dollars more. Peter Lynch, he's got some good books. I've read his books. Former manager of Fidelity Magellan Fund, one of the most successful mutual funds in history, said that the best investments he ever made were those that took a long time to come to fruition. He would often buy the stock of a company that did not increase in value for several years. Then it would take off and go up 10 or 20 times in price. This strategy of picking stocks for the long term, the Warren Buffett strategy, eventually made him one of the most successful and highest paid money managers in America. This brings us to the law of the stock market. 9. The value of a stock today is the total anticipated cash flow of the stock discounted to the present day. What does this mean? It means that a share of stock represents a share of the ownership of the company. This entitles the owner of the share to all the benefits and risk of ownership, including profits, losses, stock increases, declines in value, good or poor management, and increasing or decreasing demands for the products or services produced and sold by the company. Ooh, child. When you buy a share of stock, you are an owner of everything that takes place in that company. When you buy a stock, you are investing a certain sum of money and betting that your return will be in excess of what you could earn in a guaranteed investment such as a bond or money market fund. Purchasing this stock is a form of gambling because the future of the company and value of the stock are both unpredictable. Legalized gambling. They are determined by countless market forces such as sales, competition, technical change, and interest rates, quality of management, world events, weather, and many other factors. We put gambling here. All right. The first corollary of the stock market is that bulls make money. Bulls. He calls them bulls. Interesting. And bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered. Bulls. This means that people who invest aggressively when the market is rising make money. People who sell short and protect themselves when the market is declining make money, but greedy people who try to make a killing in the market almost always lose money. Oh, hmm. Okay. More than 70% of day traders or flash traders today, people who move in and out of the market completely one day at a time or sometimes 1 hour at a time, lose money. Many of them lose everything. The second corollary is that long-term investing is the American stock market is the best way to achieve long-term financial security. The value of stocks traded on the US markets has increased an average of 11% over the past 80 years. As a result, a person who began investing at the age of 21, who invested 100 per month in a mutual fund that increased an average of 10% per year, would retire with a net worth of more than 1 million. He repeats that several times. The third corollary is that the differently, he repeats it differently, he words it. The third corollary is the dollar cost averaging over the long run will make you rich. This corollary means that market timing doesn't work. It is virtually impossible for you or anyone to consistently buy stocks when the prices are low and sell them when the prices are high. It's always better to buy the stocks of a good, solid company selling valued and respected products and services and then hold on to those stocks for the long run. This is called value investing. 10. Value investing. And it's what makes people in the stock market wealthy. Corollary number 4 says the stock market is managed and made by professionals. This means that every purchase of a stock represents the sale of that same stock by someone. The person purchasing the stock is better than the stock that better is betting that the stock will increase in price. The person selling the stock is betting that the stock will decline in price. This is the second time we talked about this too. Every stock purchase and sale is therefore a zero sum game, with one person betting his wisdom and judgment against that of another person. Most of these people are professionals who do this for 50 to 60 hours each week, and sometimes for several decades. This means that your safest course of action safest, is to invest in an index fund that represents all of the stocks in that index and which goes up and down based on the average trend of the entire market. I wonder, is there a PDF or a website for the entire trend, average trend of the entire market? Hmm, that's a huge job right there. Who does that? The most popular type of index fund is the Standard and Poor's 500. Although there are many others, the Standard and Poor's Index Fund have consistently outperformed more than 80% of professionally managed mutual funds over the years. The next law of investing is the law of real estate. This law says that the value of a piece of real estate is the future earning power of that particular piece of property. The value of any piece of property is determined by the income that can be generated by that property when it is developed to its highest and best use from this moment onward into the future. A piece of property may have settlement value to participate a particular owner, but its dollar value is directly related to its future earning power. There are millions of acres of land that will never have any value, like desert land, for instance, which has no future earning power. It cannot be developed to produce income, provide accommodation, or satisfy any particular human needs. Why? Why can't you do that in the desert? There are vast areas in many large cities where property values are declining. He said the desert don't have no value. Well, For instance, think about Detroit, where growth and development have come and gone and will probably not return. Everyday men and women are selling homes and properties at less than they paid for them or are losing them to foreclosure because these properties have declined in earning power and rental power and therefore in value. Rental value. The first corollary of the law of real estate is that you make your money when you buy and realize it when you sell. This is very important. It is by purchasing a piece of property at the right price and under the right terms that enables you to sell it at a profit. Many people think that they'll make money when they sell the property, irrespective of how they purchased the property or at what price. That is getting the cart before the horse. The more carefully you investigate a piece of property and the more thoroughly you prepare a purchase offer, the more likely it is that you will get the kind of deal that will enable you to sell a property at a profit later on. The second corollary of the law of real estate is the three keys to real estate selection are location, location, location. Each piece of property is unique, and there's only one piece of property like that on the Earth's surface. Your ability to choose a piece of property is in an excellent location will have more of an impact on the future earning power of that property than almost any other decision that you make. Not just where you live, but commercial property in regards to businesses as well, prime real estate. The third corollary of the law of real estate is that real estate values are largely determined by general economic activity in the area and by the number of jobs and level of wages. This is very important when you're selecting a neighborhood or community in which to invest. Generally speaking, the value of property increases at three times the rate of population growth and two times the rate of inflation. When you purchase property in a fast growing community, you are virtually insured of above average increases in value. For example, today in Santa Clara and around Silicon Valley, because of the incredible explosion of employment in high tech, high paying businesses, real estate values have increased five, 10 times over what they were a few years ago. The most important factors affecting the value of real estate in any area are the level of new business formation and economic growth in the surrounding area. Make a decision today and purchase a piece of real estate for investment purposes. The only way you can learn about real estate investing is by actually becoming an owner and then by putting your knowledge and skills to work to increase the value of that piece of property. Once upon a time, there was a man named Bernard Baruch, who at the beginning of the 20th century started off as a stock market runner, running orders back and forth from stockbrokers. But while most of his friends were playing around, he would ask the people that he was delivering purchase or sell orders to about why they were making that decision. Stock market. Why? Over time, he got a sense for what made a good stock market investment, and he began to invest $1 a week. Within a few years, he was one of the richest men in America. Off of $1 a week? Really? He had learned some things in between. He was an advisor to six presidents. He wrote books and articles. At the end of his life, he summarized what he called the 10 rules for investment success. Oh, yeah. Okay. We're going to need that book. I'm going to need that book. And I finish off this section by reading them to you. I don't need to. We got it in the book. He gonna give us the secret. Well, come on, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Rule number one: don't speculate unless you can make it a full-time job. Remember, every decision you make is a bet against the decision of someone else who is studying the stock market. Oh, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Hmm. Number two, beware of anyone bringing gifts of inside information or tips. The number one way to lose money in the stock market is to act on tips from people who really don't know what they are talking about, like taxi drivers, bartenders, barbers, and even your close friends at work. Don't operate off the tips. Okay. Rule number three: before you buy a security, find out everything you can about the company, its management and competitors, its earning and possibilities for growth. Be patient and disciplined, objective and unemotional. As we said, take the time to investigate before you invest. Rule number four: don't try to buy at the bottom and sell at the top. This can't be done except by liars. When you buy a stock, decide at what price you will sell it, and when it hits that price, don't be greedy. With program and computer trading today, you can set a sell price on a stock that will be triggered automatically when it hits that price. You will never go broke taking a profit. Mm. Rule number five: learn how to take your losses quickly and cleanly. Don't expect to be right all the time. If you have made a mistake and you see that the stock is going down, sell the stock and cut your losses as quickly as possible. Rule number six: don't buy too many different securities. Better to have only a few investments which can be watched than to have many. Diversification spreads your risk. Thank you for tuning in, Love Tuber. But it also eliminates any chance you might have for major gains if one of your stocks were to increase rapidly in value. This is a rule for people who are going to trade in the stock market, not for the average person who is much better off buying an index fund and just holding it. It talks about diversification. Rule number seven: make a periodic reappraisal of all of your investments and see whether changing developments have altered their prospects. Okay, so inventory. Use zero-based thinking. Always ask when you have new information. If I had not already purchased this stock or investment, knowing what I know now, would I purchase it again today? If the answer is no, that is your cue to sell. Rule number eight: study your tax position to know when you can sell to greatest advantage. Be aware of the capital gain taxes that are applicable to your transactions. Remember that the only thing that counts is the amount that you have left after taxes. The timing of stock market purchases and sales to create capital gains and capital losses is an area which you should be thoroughly familiar. Rule number nine: always keep a good part of your capital in cash reserve. Never invest all your funds. If you keep a cash cushion at all times, you will also be in a position to take advantage of unexpected opportunities that come along. You will also have an emergency reserve to act as a buffer no matter what happens in the marketplace. Cash reserve. Hmm. Rule number 10, don't try to be a jack of all investments. Stick to the field you know best. Warren Buffett said the same thing. He never invested in .com or internet stocks. He said, because I just don't understand them or how they're valued. He was honest. And he never lost money, while everybody else lost a fortune when the .com bomb explosion took place. Usually, the most successful investors are those who pick one particular industry and concentrate on becoming knowledgeable about the companies in that industry. Pick an industry that interests you so that you'll enjoy keeping current with it. Remember, the key to success in investing is to investigate before you invest. Invest carefully. Get all the information that you require. If you're going to be an active investor, you have to watch your money at the time, all the time. If you're going to not going to be an active investor, the best thing you can do is to buy an index fund that has a low cost of management in which you will grow as the market moves. You can put it aside and sleep well at night and never worry. So, investor index. Oh, that wrapped up chapter 7. That was lovely. Been gaining lots of knowledge. I'm not going to move my paperclip. But thank you for tuning in, love tubers. I greatly appreciate you and your patience. Um, and I will see you tomorrow afternoon. For those who, I did post Black History Trivia. I do have the answers. I was hoping you all would participate. If you haven't, you still have an opportunity. I will post those answers, or talk about it rather, towards the end of the month. And we will go from there. And since I am a poet, I did talk to the poetry group. I want them to possibly uh, lend me some of their favorites for me to talk about as well towards the end of the month. Again, thank you for tuning in. Mwah, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your hump day, darlings.